You know what I'm going to talk about today. What everybody else has been talking about. Captain America being a double agent. What the fuck is wrong with Marvel? I mean, I'm just fucking around. I mean, that is fucking annoying. I don't know what it's about. I picked up the book, Captain America #1. I haven't read it yet because I've been too busy reading this DC Universe Rebirth #1. And I think, my theory is, this book is the reason why Marvel came out and said that whole double agent thing. Not that there's not any validity to that. I have no idea. Again, I haven't read the book yet. I will at some point, probably when I'm done this. But if any of that is true, I mean, come on, don't do that to Cap. I don't want to get into it here. Maybe tomorrow, after I read it, I'll figure all that shit out. What I want to talk about, though, again, is this. DC Universe Rebirth #1, written by Jeff Johns. So, how was it? It was pretty goddamn good, I gotta say. The book is split up into chapters. There's 4 chapters and an epilogue. There's a team of artists that does the whole book, but different artists do different chapters. Chapter 1 by Gary Frank and Ethan Van Sciver. Chapter 2 just by Gary Frank. Chapter 3 was done by Ivan Reis, as apparently he likes to be called, or Ivan Rice. Chapter 4 was by Phil Jimenez and Gary Frank, and an epilogue by Gary Frank and Ivan Reis. So that's where we're at creator-wise. Now, the book. So what you're supposed to do before you read this, you're supposed to read Superman 52 and Justice League #50. Now, for a very, 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 very long time, I have been behind on all those books. But through some mystical guidance, I actually got caught up on both Superman and Justice League. Not because Rebirth was coming, just because my stack of comics is fucking enormous and I had to get caught up. So, however, I threw caution to the wind and I did not read either one of those books. Bad, right? Bad move. I figure I'm going to read this book no matter what. I'm reading this book and I'll go back and I'll read those other 2. I picked them up and I will read them. Scout's honor. But I haven't read them yet. So, as for Rebirth, I can't keep holding this up and my notes. It looks kind of stupid. The first couple pages are narrated by someone. You have a feeling it's Flash, color scheme. You just don't know. 5th or 6th page, I'll open it up, man. It's like seeing an old friend. It made me very happy. Wally West. Wally West. It is, you know, after all these years, it's cool to see Wally. Now, he's in the Kid Flash costume, but he at least knows that he was the Flash at some point. What is going on with Wally? Who knows? Wally knows something is wrong with the multiverse. He's not sure what. He thinks 10 years is missing. Something, he just knows something's wrong and he's trying to contact somebody and he knows he's been forgotten. So the first person he goes to see is the world's greatest detective, Batman. Wally knows about Flashpoint changing everything when Barry went back and stopped Reverse Flash from killing his mom, and that set forth everything about New 52. But Batman doesn't remember Wally. So Wally now is getting sucked back into the Speed Force, and every time he gets sucked further into the Speed Force, he loses a little bit of his identity. So much so that he's like on the verge of just becoming one with the Speed Force, and all his Speed Forces will be sent out to the next generation of speedsters. With Batman not recognizing Wally, Wally's desperate to find somebody who can anchor him back into the universe. The whole thing really is, all right, well, we'll get to that in a minute. So next, Wally goes looking for Linda Park. Linda Park, I believe, was his wife, Wally's wife, girlfriend, pre-New 52. Now, she's in the New 52, but she, of course, doesn't remember him. He goes to see her, and, you know, he's like, he recognizes her. Of course he recognizes her. She's like, who the fuck are you? and because he doesn't, or she doesn't acknowledge him or sort of anchor him back into the universe, Wally once again gets sucked into the Speed Force. The whole thing really is DC's way of saying, yo man, we fucked up. We've been listening, we fucked up, and we're gonna deal with it. Because, so we've got Linda Park here, and then we've got the next thing is some sort of sub-story with Ray Palmer as the Atom. He's back as the Atom, and he's not Dick Ray Palmer. At least I don't think he's Dick Ray Palmer. He's the Atom like I remember him, and he's stuck in what he called the microverse. And Ryan Choi is also there. Now, he's not the Atom. Ryan Choi was at one point the Atom, but he's not in this story. He comes across this message from Ray saying, yo, there's something wrong. I don't know what it is. I went down, I shrunk down to find out. He gets involved with the time stream, microverse, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, he wants Ryan to put the shrinking belt on to come and find him. Now, whether he does or not, who knows? There's a lot of setup. I mean, there's more coming. There's a lot of setup with this story, not a lot of answers. There are some answers, but there's more questions than anything else. So then the next thing we go is the next sub-story we see is with Ted Kord and Jamie Reese as the Blue Beetle. Now, it's cool seeing Ted Kord. He's not the Blue Beetle, but I don't know what his stance is right now, but he wants to help Jamie be the current Blue Beetle who's got, all Jamie wants, Jamie's got the scarab on his back, and he wants to be separated from the scarab. And Ted's like, yo man, this is great. I mean, he even made like a Blue Beetle mobile, and Jamie doesn't want any parts of it. But Ted is Ted, and it was really cool to see. It looks like Ted's going to be some sort of mentor to Jamie. And Jamie's like, yo, if we're going to do a Batman and Robin thing, I don't want any part of this. So Jamie's got to leave. He turns into the Blue Beetle, courtesy of the Scarab. And as he's leaving, Ted gets a visit from Dr. Fate, who says to him, yo, listen, you're fucking with shit you don't understand. You're fucking with magic. And of course, Ted's like, whoa, magic for real? So that was a cool moment. Pandora, who knows what happened with Pandora? Even she's touched upon. Again, I don't know where any of this is going. There's so much set up here, but I don't know if there's going to be more DC Universe Rebirth number 2. Nope, nothing yet. With all these sub-stories going on, Wally's getting sucked into the Speed Force, and I mean, he's just about done, but he manages to go find Barry. And as he finds Barry, he does the same thing as he did with Batman and as he did with Linda. He's like, yo, I'm here. But at this point, Wally knows that, oh, wait, I gotta back up for a second. They did something really cool. Before he went and found Barry, he went and he found Wally, the new Wally. And it was really cool how they kind of tied the new Wally to the old Wally. And the new Wally ended up using the Speed Force to save people, and he's like all pumped, and it was cool. I have not been a fan of new Wally, and I mean, it's not the same Wally as that's on CW's The Flash. That Wally's, God, he's so fucking whiny. But even with the season finale, he turned out better. But it was cool. It was a good moment. That was definitely a baton handing, and it was something that probably needed to be done. We're going to go back to where I was with Wally talking to Barry, and he's like, yo, Barry, I know you don't remember me, but I was Kid Flash, I was this and that. And Barry's like, I don't know who the fuck you are. And finally, Wally ends it with saying, I got the book right here. It was a nice moment. I'll show you the pages. Hopefully you'll be able to see them. Wally's explaining to Barry who he is, and as he's disintegrating, he says, finally, thank you for an amazing life. I mean, I was like, wow, man, that's... And you want to know something? I was actually cool with Wally being done. My Wally being done in the current DC Universe. It was cool. I mean, it was just a nice... It was a good story for Wally. He hasn't been acknowledged this whole fucking time, and Just a great Wally story. And then, motherfucker, Barry remembers him. Not only does Barry remember him, but he pulls him out of the Speed Force. And now Wally West, my Wally West, exists in the new universe. Whatever universe this is at the moment. It was great. Yeah. The main story, chapter 4, ends with Batman back in the Batcave. And for some reason, in the cave, Batman gets distracted by something in the wall. And what does he pull out from the wall of the Batcave? But the comedian's smiley face. So the Watchmen are involved. But how are the Watchmen involved? I don't know. It's a really interesting question. Like I said, so many questions were raised, more than were answered. What they did was kind of cool is that they ended with advertisements for all the upcoming issues. We've got July 27th, Wally West uncovers a secret that will destroy his friends in Titans #1. Fucking awesome. The Flash #1, that comes out June 22nd. Batman #1 coming out June 15th. This, another one I'm looking forward to, Teen Titans. Damian Wayne in the Teen Titans. With Beast Boy, Wally West as Kid Flash, What's-Her-Face Starfire, and, oh God, what the hell's her name? I can't think of her name. You know who I'm talking about. Green Lanterns #1, the two of them teaming up. I'm not too interested. Green Arrow #1, I may check out. That comes out, no date. Oh no, June 15th. Oh, Green Lanterns and Green Arrow both come out June 15th. Aquaman #1 comes out June 22nd. Probably, most of these I'm going to get. Wonder Woman #1, written by Greg Rucka, which is very cool, June 22nd. Suicide Squad #1, I don't know. August 17th, in time for Suicide Squad, the movie. I'm not real crazy about how they made Harley look, but whatever. This is interesting. I'm definitely going to check this out. Action Comics, is that Action or is it Superman? Yeah. Action Comics #1. That fucking Lex, man. He's something else. And then Superman #1. All in all, it was a very good story, a decent story. It's a nice beginning. Where it's going, I have no idea, man. But it's been needed, and I'm glad they did it. And that's all I got. Until I figure out what the fuck's going on with Captain America.